Hello and welcome to Oz Scale Modelling. This is part 20 of the US Arizona 1/200 scale build. It's a kit made by Trumpeter, and this is the final part as the ship is complete, and this will just be a review of what we went through putting this together, and my thoughts of the kit and the aftermarket accessories, and we'll have a look at a lot of photographs of the completed model and give an opportunity to discuss any questions and comments you might have below, and give an overview of this model. So this model I started back 6 weeks ago. Actually, it was 5 weeks ago we did the unboxing. May seem pretty quick building this, but I've worked on this ship every day for at least 4 or 5 hours, maybe longer, every day, so that's how we managed to get through it. So as I talk, I'll throw up a few photographs of the completed model as we go along. I will say that the kit was quite good. Trumpeter did a good job of this. Everything went together really well. I found no problems with the kit. Yeah, the fitting was really good. There was just a couple of little gaps, and particularly attaching the hull to the main body of the ship at the very front. It wasn't lined up properly. It has a different sort of fitting where it's like what do you call it, like a T bracket, a T section, where the center of the thing would go into the tongue and groove is what I'm trying to say. It had the tongue and groove thing, so the whole ship would sit down on the hull and that tongue would sit in the groove all the way around. Great idea, definitely. They should do that on more models, but the front didn't quite line up as it should have. So I did manage to sand a little bit of the tongue in there at the front and get it across the fraction, and then I managed to, when it was put down, the screws put through and then glued, I managed to use some clamps to hold it in place, and that helped a lot. Now there is a slight gap around, and it's not spot on perfect all the way around the seam line of the hull, but what I did was I used the waterline black mark being that same position all the way around, so it's completely unnoticeable. Now with this kit, I bought the wooden deck, and it went down beautifully. There's no issues with that. It was a wooden deck that didn't come with the peel off see-through backing with all this, where it would be sticky and it would just stick down. It didn't have that. It had to be glued down, so I used a wood glue, which was fine. I just covered the surface of the wood deck underneath in the wood glue, and then put that down on the deck and then smoothed it all out. Left it overnight with some weight on it, and it stuck down really well. And everything lined up really nicely on that deck as well. And also, along with the wood deck, I also ordered the MK1 Designs photo etch detail set. Now, there were two types. There was one that was twice the price, which was obviously the full detail kit. We're looking at $300 Australian, more than $300. Well, there was one that was half the price, which is the one I ended up getting. one problem I found is that I didn't realise that, well, I these websites, when you buy these, don't show you the detail of what's in them. Now, those photo etch detail up kits, whether it's by MK1 Designs or Edard or Pontos, whatever, they really need to show in their advertising exactly what you're getting. That was my problem, because after I bought this, I didn't realise that there was a lot of parts in here that I thought it would include um, in the basic cheaper kit. For instance, railings. I thought railings surely would be part of the cheaper basic kit, but there was no railings. The ladders and stairways, there was none. They're just, as far as I think, they're the two main things you want on your ship to upgrade, is put the railings on and do all the ladders and stairways. It didn't have any of those. Fortunately, I did buy some aftermarket railings that included a few ladders, but most of the railings that I needed to cover the whole ship. The little bit of photo etch that the ship did come with from Trumpeter included some railings, but nowhere near enough to cover the whole outside of the ship, and also all the other little bits and pieces. So I think I should have spent the extra money buying the more advanced MK1 Designs kit that included everything, even if I didn't use everything. See, another thing with those kits is you may pay more money, but there's a lot of section parts in there you may not see that you could sell again. Someone else may be interested and say, hey, these are all these parts, put them on eBay or something from the MK1 kit and list what you've got that you never touched. I'm sure someone will buy them, because that's a good way to sell them and get some money back for things you're not going to use. Okay. Also, a lot of the photo etch was good to have from that kit. There was a few things in there that I didn't think were necessary. Taking off pieces of plastic parts and replacing with photo etch that don't do anything to enhance what was already there. I noticed that a few times. Now, I mean, I don't have a great deal of experience, but I built the 350 scale USS Kitty Hawk with the photo etch, full MK1 photo etch kit on that. So all up the kit, and the photo etch cost me nearly $1,000, and that had everything in it. So I think that there's quite a difference from getting the full kit to partial kits. I know that I think it's Pontos that lets you select different things. Like you might just want to do turrets, or you just want to do the cranes, and they have individual kits that you can buy. They're really good. But MK1 don't do that. They just have the full kit or a budget version of it with less. But anyway, I went ahead. We got all that on there. I put all the railings went on. They all had to be cut to size, particularly up on the tower, the bridge. All those had to be all cut to the size and measured as you went. Again, if it was the MK1 Designs kit, they would have specific railings for each section already to size, which would have made it a lot easier. Paints were all used. I used Tamiya paints, Tamiya acrylic paints. You may note if you watch the series, there was a problem there where I run out of paint halfway through painting and went to buy more, and due to the situation, there's a bit of a shortage on paints, so I discovered that I couldn't get the paint I needed. Yeah, so I ended up mixing up a couple of paints, some violet and other blue to match up, and it turned out quite well. I got the colours matched up nicely. So I finished off all the painting, clear coated the whole ship, let that all dry, and then we did all the weathering in the last video, and I think it came up quite nice. So yeah, it was a good build. As you can see from all the photos here, it's came up quite nice. A lot of the highlighting and weathering came up nice and looks good in the end. Now, some people may notice that the top of the turrets on a lot of people's models, they paint red. During my research on this, I decided not to paint them red because apparently, from what I've found, that it was only planned to be painting them red in the future. They never actually were red. So I left them off, and I just don't think I don't know why they wouldn't paint something such a bright colour like red on the turrets like that, to when everything else is grey and supposed to blend in so it can't be seen so well. I'm only assuming it's so that the float planes, when they are coming back to the ship, can see which ship they've got to fly back to. I've got a feeling that might be a reason why they painted the turrets red. But then you would think, why wouldn't they just bring out a big tarpaulin and cover part of the deck with a red square or something while the planes are out or on their way back? I don't know. Maybe that's an idea. Obviously, they don't need to do it these days, but anyway. Yeah, so, lots of nice photos. Really happy with this. My first 200 scale build, and actually it's going to be a shock to my system because my next build is going to be a 1/700 scale, so it's going to be a fraction of the size. But anyway, I'm planning on putting up a few videos on some how-to videos. I've got a few ideas like how to clean your model, a photo etch guide, setting up your instructions for the build and your layout for starting a model ship. Just a few little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way that I'd like to share. Anyway, so that's it. I'll finish up this video series now and get on with the rest of my YouTube videos. And thanks again for everybody who's watched this, and especially all those who have watched from the beginning. And please, if you've got any comments below, post them, questions, suggestions, criticisms, I don't care. Put it all down there. I'll get back to you on any questions or anything. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go back and watch the rest of the series if you haven't. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. And hopefully everybody will be around for the next round of videos that come in as I start posting them all up. Okay, once again, thanks a lot all, and I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.